And a very warm welcome to you all, wherever you are, to Lockdown SK, the interactive self-isolation talk show, broadcasting to you live from our micro streaming studio here on the beautiful island of Corfu in sunny, well, maybe not quite so much sunny today, but usually is, Greece. And if for any reason there should be an interruption to this broadcast today, please log on to our website, which is www.studiokerkyra.com, or the video platform that is vimeo.com, or else good old YouTube, where you will see this broadcast in superb quality HD. And to facilitate and help us bring this digital broadcast to you across the internet today, I'm very lucky to be joined by our producer, Claire Haas, who will be responding to all your comments on Facebook Live Messenger and taking those elusive calls from Skype. And always, I am very lucky to be joined in the micro streaming studio today, after a lovely Easter, I hope, Mr. Thomas Haas. Hello, Thomas, how are you?
Hello, Adrian. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. Sorry about the last 2 days. We were on a break for 2 days. I mean, one day, Sunday, we wanted to be on a break. It's Easter Sunday, of course, but yesterday, as we tried to come back, sadly enough, the internet speed just wasn't here. I mean, I have to say, we are in Halikunas, and where we broadcasting from, our reception here is not the best anyway. But hey,
No.
you know, we always make it work. But just yesterday, we had no clue why. But internet was just not here, and hey, what can you do? But thank you for tuning in and for coming back. And I hope we can fill this afternoon, the next hour, a little bit with some things you might not know about, and maybe we can discuss lots. So if you want to comment now live while we're on air, and we gonna chat with you, or maybe you call us via Skype or send us an email, inbox@studiokerkyra.com.
Absolutely. And just back to the internet problem, it's more to do with that oscillation again. Now, we had this problem before. When it struggles to hold steady a signal between 4G and 3G, the broadcast can get lost in the ether. And of course, we don't want that. And welcome back to all our beloved viewers and listeners, wherever you are across the globe. We absolutely love hearing from you. And boy, do we hear from you. Please keep the comments coming.
It's great that you started already. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. It's Pat Thomas is saying, hi, everybody. I hope you are staying safe. Yes, we are. Same to you. Julie Cam from Scotland saying, hi, guys. Hi, Julie. We're going to talk. I had a little bit communication with Julie today already. We swapped experiences of the day. So it's Lauren Smith is watching from Portsmouth. Hi from sunny Pompey. Hope everybody is keeping safe and well. Steve Ford is watching.
Hi,
Melita is watching and saying, welcome back, guys. Thanks, Melita. Nice to see you. David Roseman is watching. Hi, guys. Listening to you today while throwing some pots.
Well, that's very seasonal. Well done, David. Yes, throwing pots, I take it you mean you're making some ceramic object, maybe, or else you'll have a throwback from Easter. Speaking of which, I must bust a popular myth that's haunted me throughout my life in England. There's a saying in the English language that goes, beware of Greeks bearing gifts. Well, I'm very happy to tell you that is absolutely not the case here on this beautiful island of Corfu, because guess what? Today, I had an unexpected visitor bearing a box of gifts. They were painted eggs, and that was to say thank you for alerting him to his loose dogs. The other day, I might have told you we had a few dog problems where I live, and we managed to round them up, or through the help of the ARC dog charity, I should say, and this gentleman was reacquainted with his lovely dogs, and to say thank you, he brought some painted eggs around. And that just reminds me, I just want to say a special thank you to two fabulous Greek ladies, one called Fatini and the other called Natalia. I love you both. You are fantastic. Thank you.
Great. So you got that one out of your system. Great, man.
I certainly
well
did.
Done. I'm carrying on. Hello to Steve Bauer. Thanks, Steve, for watching. Steve Ford is watching, saying hello to the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
it's great. Steve Bauer's just commenting here and saying, hi, lads. Hope you had a good Easter. Cracking the flags here in Manchester again. Believe you understand.
I do now. I do now, Steve. Thank you ever so much, Steve, for putting this poor southerner right. I honestly can tell you, Steve, I've never heard the expression, and including people in the Midlands haven't heard that expression. So perhaps it goes back to the times when it's very hot and so much heat that the flags kind of disintegrate. Maybe that's what it means. But thank you very much for telling me. It's nice to know a little bit of Mancunian. Brilliant.
Great. No, it's brilliant. Christopher Dabana is watching. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Lavinia is watching, Vinny is watching,
Hi,
saying,
Vinny.
hope you survived Easter, hope you feasted well. What strikes maybe at the moment is what strikes at the moment, complete and utter silence outside. I mean, yes, it is. It is quite weird because it's
Eerie.
end of April and normally you hear the tourists already. It's already going around a little bit. But hey, nothing. Mattia Wolf is watching. Hi, Mattia. Thanks for tuning in. Tara Oruki is watching. Again, crazy to think that they back at Corfu down this time last year. How full Corfu down was the time last year. I mean, it's crazy.
Total contrast.
A complete contrast. I got a picture here. Then I'm going to show you a little bit later about that Easter on Saturday from Corfu down. And Melita, happy birthday to our wonderful Queen Elizabeth.
Indeed.
The 11th. God save our Queen. Thank you very much. That's
here.
Here.
Very
Brilliant.
happy birthday to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who is 94 years young today, and for the first time, would you believe, in her 68-year reign, she's declined to have the traditional birthday gun salute. She didn't think it was appropriate. She's spending the day, in case you want to know, together with the Duke of Edinburgh at Windsor Castle. I hope she has a fantastic day.
Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and she's been great rallying around the flag for the British people, I think, during COVID-19. She's certainly done her bit as monarch.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was great. And when she said no to the gun salute, how many? Is 21, 24? I have no idea.
I don't know, but it's possible that she might have had 68.
Maybe you know. Let me know. I would love to know that.
How many? Could be how many the years of her reign. Maybe.
Okay.
In which case, it's 68.
I have no idea.
But yes, we'd love to know. So any eagle-eyed viewers who are more knowledgeable than us in these royal affairs, please let us know. Thomas, can I just say a few words to Vinny, our wonderful viewer, Lavinia there, who's very keenly writes in and points us in the right direction and correctly tells us off when we're a little bit askew, which I do appreciate, Vinny. Can I just say to you, Kolokithakia Keftedis, Taramasalata, and Melitsan Salata. I hope I've got that right. Those were the starters that you were busy cooking, and I know you challenged me to say them correctly. I probably failed the challenge.
Oh, it's a kind of good, well done, man.
I don't know about that. Vinny will tell me otherwise, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you
Good
tried.
on you, Vinny.
Yeah, you tried.
I tried. Oh, yes,
So,
always
hey,
try.
come on.
Absolutely, yes. And I'm sure I was going to say hello to some other people like Georgios Soros, who writes in a lot to the program. I'm very grateful to you for doing so. And a special personal thank you to me from one of our viewers who sent in a heart to our last broadcast. And he was called Spiro Grigoropoulos. And I want to thank him for pointing me out this fantastic piece of music by Vangelis, that wonderful, amazing, the best, in my opinion, living composer in the whole world today, and the Greek singer, model, and actress Irene Papas, who did something from the Easter liturgy for the Orthodox Church. And I do believe it's called Oh My Beloved Air. That piece of music that you put on Facebook is absolutely still in my head, blown me away, made my Easter. So thank you very much, Spiro, for drawing that to my attention, and to our other wonderful viewer, Rolf Werner, as well.
Good one. And I got Mura here, and Tara is saying, yes, guys, it's Tara from Ireland. Lovely to hear your cheerful chats again. Thank you, Tara. That's great.
Always cheerful. But we're kept extra cheerful by all the lovely people like you see. You make us cheerful. That's why we can be cheerful. And this wonderful cheerfulness is a little bit infectious, more infectious than COVID-19, I would have a guess at. And therefore, we can spread all this cheerfulness to you wherever you are in the world. That's the whole purpose of Lockdown SK, this fully interactive self-isolation talk show where we don't want to do all the talking, we want to hear from you.
Exactly, and that's what we're gonna do. And here it's Margaret Johnson is saying hello, welcome back. Thank you, Margaret. Jackie Cherry is watching and says nice to have you back, guys. Thank you, Jackie. And then Mark the garlic pot white is saying, I hope the Duke of Edinburgh isn't driving her around. Great show as always.
Good comment there. Yes, I think he had to rescind his driving licence after that other faux pas that he had at Sandringham some time ago. But good on both the royal couple there, because they've both been driving into their 90s. I mean, the Queen probably still drives her Land Rover Defender on the estate, I do believe. Quite extraordinary to be driving at that age. But yes, indeed.
Indeed, and I got two more here, and this Matteo is writing in. Hi Thomas, hi Adrian. Hope
Hi.
you are good. We are
Oh,
great, man.
we're
Thank
great,
you. We
Matt.
hope
Thank
you
you.
are great too. And Lavinia is. Melita is saying it's a 41 gun salute for Her
Oh,
Majesty's
thank you, Melita.
birthday.
Thank you.
41. So this is
Wouldn't have
great.
known that.
Thanks,
That's
Melita.
always nice to know something new. Absolutely brilliant.
And Vinny is saying, bravo, Adrian. Well done and congratulations. Very proud of you.
Oh,
so
Vinny. I'm very grateful to you for saying that. You've made my day. Thank you ever so much, Vinny. Can I just say a special hello to Margaret Johnson and also to Jackie Cherry, because you brought a tear to my eye yesterday when I read you were disappointed that you didn't see us broadcast Lockdown SK yesterday. Jackie, that means a lot to us. Thank you for your stalwart support. And all of our viewers and listeners, we absolutely get off on hearing from you. We really do. It makes the show go round anyway.
Of course, and someone Giannis is watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. But hey, man, it's great. We had 2 days off. You know, one day was off, and the other was
a little
forced.
refresher, didn't we? We needed just a little 1 day break. I think. I mean, I must admit, on the Easter Sunday, the holy day, Thomas. I don't know about you, but I did absolutely nothing apart from watch films, and I watched a cracker, one of my favourite from Stanley Kubrick, Barry Lyndon. What a sweeping piece of history that is! If you haven't seen it, please do. It was a multi-Oscar winner in 1975, I think. The art direction and photography is absolutely John Alcourt, the photographer, and art direction by Ken Adam, that James Bond man, and Roy Walker as well, both all winning Oscars. It's such a film, fantastic musical score as well.
Yeah, you use the time to watch movie.
It's a very long movie, Thomas. That's why it's not a film you can just dip in and out of. It's
the same as The Irishman. Then it's just dragging on. Or
well, actually, that's a good point. I don't think it's quite as long as The Irishman, but do you know, somehow it certainly moves at a sweeping pace. Barry Lyndon from 1975, Stanley Kubrick, absolutely top of his game. I think he was as a director.
Kubrick, definitely. That was the time where he really, great. And here is Kathy Duckworth is coming, writing in and said, I missed you too, guys. So great.
Kathy,
it's fantastic to see you all.
And Rhoda, in lovely Rhoda.
And lovely Rhoda.
Yes.
That's where, you know, I'm really, really eager. As soon as this lockdown is easing, and so I want to start moving a little bit. And that's maybe a place in Rhoda, Kathy. We can come and visit you and do a live show from there. So that's our ambition. So we're looking into the future now at the moment, because it is, nobody knows. Now, to plan anything, it's really, really hard. I mean, for us here now, it's hard, and I believe for you guys, it's definitely hard. And going on now, because we're talking a little bit about the tourism of the island today, we got some news in here where, I mean, did you get something down about the tourism or
flights?
The flights, exactly. It's the flight dates. Everybody's talking now. Okay, when is the tourism? It's uncertainty now, and people don't know what to do. Should I prepare? Should I not prepare? When is the earliest tourists can arrive? So, and then is again the questions we got in, and we said this at the last show. I got something in where people say, hey, now, what should I do with my booked holiday? Should I cancel? Now, guys, I say it again, do nothing. Leave it. Wait until the tour operator or the travel agent approaches you regarding your holiday you booked. So just leave it, because you don't know which way it's going. And it's understandable in one side, because when you look now, more information we're getting, the more confused a lot of people are getting at the moment. And that's one thing I noticed extremely. Talking quickly, you know, this is the confusion. Julie Cam was writing in and said she was shopping today, and this was really bad because there were no social distancing. They all ramped in at once, even go, you know, leaning over the back to reach something in the shelves, you know. There is no, I don't know, I experienced the same thing today, and that thrown me a little bit just before the show. I don't know, you know, you should distance yourself from each other. Social distancing, hence the name. But now you go out there and you have, some people are keeping to it, but there is also people who don't care. They're not keeping. They think this is all nothing. That's all, you know, not true. And then you know, you start getting frustrated. You start getting confused. So how should you behave? And that starts to relate now to other people, no?
Yes, so just to be clear here, you experienced a similar thing when you were out emergency shopping today, as our viewer in Edinburgh, Julie Cam, did, with people pushing past you and not observing.
Pushing, leaning over you to reach something. They can't wait. You know, there is no patience in this thing. And I know we locked down for over 4 weeks now. And yes, it's not easy to cope with. But in the end of the day, we have to. There is no other choice. But there is still people running around, especially here on Corfu, thinking that all is not true. We've been taken for a ride. They try to destroy our country. There is nothing happening. That's all fake news. That's all immediacy. How can you still think that? How is this still in your head?
We've had this conversation many times on Lockdown SK. It beggars belief for us here at SK that those views are in some cases prevalent in some countries more than others. Brazil is a good case in point. President Bolsonaro refuses to accept that such a thing as COVID-19. He dismisses it as, oh, it's a little flu. He sacked his health minister on Friday for doing precisely the things that you and I might think that they should do. That is, consult with the World Health Organization, do weekly press conferences and take the advice of the leading medical scientists, but not if you're the president of Brazil. He won't have it. He was caught on film the other week, wasn't he, in a public rally without face mask or gloves, and he blew his nose on his hand, and then he went and shook hands with people in the crowd. I mean, there you go. I've never seen anything like it. But he's not the only one. I think they had a hard job convincing Donald Trump, President of the United States, also of the severity of COVID-19. And as we've said on this program before, it wasn't until his friend Stanley, who died in a New York hospital about a week or so ago, that he started to wake up about it. But on the subject of, which I found, Thomas, very disturbing, the protests in America about a week ago, particularly in Michigan, when people took to the streets to protest against lockdown. It was supposed to be a 2-hour protest. It ended up being 8 hours. The governor there, Gretchen Whitmer, was pulling her hair out in despair. But I just want to tell you a piece of information, ladies and gentlemen. One of the leading organizers behind that particular event was a lady called Betsy DeVos. Betsy DeVos is the 11th US Secretary of State for Education, appointed by Donald Trump, President of the United States, in 2017. And she's a very wealthy lady. No surprise there. She's worth, I think, according to Forbes, about $4 billion. The reason I mention her is because her brother, who was also involved, I think, behind the scenes, is the founder and chief of Blackwater, would you believe, the curious American private security firm.
Yeah.
So there is vested interest here.
Yes,
there is money behind those protests. And when you come down to it, I think it's all about a massive campaign for electioneering for the upcoming presidential elections in November. And Donald Trump, president, is just seeing everything as a campaign hustings, basically.
Yeah. And that's what I know. Politics now. We have to put politics to the side. We have got a much bigger problem here. But obviously, they're not catching on to that one. They are out there to cause problems. I saw the video in Michigan. I mean, it was terrible. It was disturbing just to see. I mean, the one woman in the car, to the reporter, she was so, she showed her roots in her hairs and said, you know what, 4 weeks, no hairdresser, I'm going mad. They should open up. I need to go to the hairdresser.
Exactly.
I mean, get your priorities right.
Unbelievable.
So, but it's also, you know what, I have to clamp down stronger. I mean, what we see now, it's everywhere, everywhere. Very lenient. This lockdown is lenient. Yes, you get fines. Everything seems to go down civilized. There's people who keep to that. There's people who don't care and say, you know what, it's not real. It's just the whole thing.
Yes,
you know, made up. There's loads of them. So that doesn't mix. It's true. I mean, I saw it today. I had to tell 2 off because they came close. Right. I'm staying in front of the shelf and he's leaning over me into reach that. So I turned around and I said, please move away. Wait until I'm finished, then you can have that. There's nothing around. Come on. I said, listen, one. If you are willing to put yourself and your family in danger, fine with me. Do not put me and my family in danger. That's a strong message, and I'm gonna stay for that. Stay to that, and they can challenge me on that. Because now, what I saw today again, what I saw in the media locally here, no, the pictures of Easter Saturday. I got one here. There must be around 500-600 people there. Yeah, right. But we had no violations this weekend. See, when you read one side of the news, then you read the others, then you look on Facebook and you see proper picture, real pictures from people you trust. It doesn't mix. So you see, the media gets influenced. They cannot say everything they want. They're getting restricted. There's no questions in my mind.
No.
Everywhere. It's because of the panic. Yeah, but we're playing that so down. Of course, some of the people are not taking that serious. There's no urgency behind it. And when there's no urgency behind it, like in the government, there's no urgency behind it.
Well,
when you look at in the UK now, when I look in the States, there's
lost,
still no urgency behind it.
They lost precious weeks.
How should people take that serious?
Well, both countries lost precious weeks, particularly. We had a report out this week in the Sunday Times, didn't we, that claimed Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, missed 5 Cobra meetings and isn't able to make the big decisions because the poor man is still recovering. That's not the time we need a leaderless country. If ever there's a time for strong leadership, it's right now in every country. It's not just the UK and America. Here's another case in point, Thomas. The contrast between 2 countries that are neighbours, Eastern Europe I'm talking about. We're talking about the great power of Russia on the one hand and the smaller country of Belarus. 2 countries, 2 different presidents. President Putin's got it. He announced that there were 2,500 new cases the other day. So he built a new hospital just outside Moscow. He believes in COVID-19, but his colleague over in Belarus does not. He refuses to accept that COVID-19 exists. And I think if you mention coronavirus, you can be locked up in prison. And if you go out on the streets with a face mask, you can go to prison. That's Belarus. Another country that refuses to believe or accept it is Turkmenistan. If you say the word coronavirus there, you can be arrested. I mean, to me and us all at StudioKerkyra and most of our viewers, I'm sure, it sounds preposterous, doesn't it? Particularly if you see graphic footage from and interviews from healthcare workers, frontline medical staff. The official figures in the United Kingdom are saying that over 50 NHS workers have died. Well, the other figures are saying it's well over 100. 104 is what I've seen of medical workers dying in the UK. And the figures that we should always point out that we get from Bing.com or the other site, which is, I think, COVID19.live, they are the minimum figures. There is always a time lag in reporting of figures. And here's the most important thing to remember. These are hospital figures. This does not necessarily take into consideration the poor people who have lost their lives in care homes or other institutions. So if you were to add all those together, for instance, the United Kingdom, they're saying that currently they have about 16,000 and some hundred fatalities of COVID-19. Well, there's another 7,500 plus unaccounted for deaths just recently in care homes across the UK. So I think we are looking at a more realistic figure of upwards of 25,000. That's a guess from me.
Yeah, I just got the map up here from Bing. As you said, I mean, there's not all the figures in there. There's still a lot of figures missing. And what's missing there, it's all the care homes, is other institutions what are not on this list. And there's the question for myself, okay, why are they not on the list? Why did they not include that? Why did they just have hospitals only? I mean, there is so much going on. In England, they're saying, the ambulance drivers are saying, they have so much to do, they actually physically don't have breaks because they're constantly moving. And when they move then they have to disinfect.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Their bus again, the emergency vehicle. So, you can see the evidence how bad it is.
Oh, absolutely. And I staggering.
And then you see the figures, and the figures confusing you much more. And that's something, I thought we in the 21st century, we have this much more under control. It's the same as with the vaccine. What is this one scientist? I think we spoke earlier.
Professor Sarah, someone from Oxford University. She's been promising a quick, speedy vaccine ever since we started broadcasting Lockdown SK, which I do believe was the 15th of March. She's now saying that human trials could be starting in a week or so's time. But other scientists and professors across the world, Thomas, are daily warning about complacency, getting carried away with this idea that there's going to be a panacea. One vaccine is going to solve everything.
But what you just mentioned her, she made the same statement beginning of March.
Yes, ever since we've been broadcasting Lockdown SK.
Well, that we followed, and she makes the same statement again and again. It's always in around 2 weeks' time. It's always in around 2 weeks' time. People hear that. Once, okay, it's all right. Then you hear the second time, you start thinking about it. Then you hear the third and the fourth time. It's always the same statement. In 2 weeks' time. I mean, people are not stupid.
No.
In the world we are living now, with full of information technology, and we can talk with each other around the globe. I just need to phone a friend of mine in the States, or in Guatemala, or in Austria, or in England, or in Holland, or in Spain, or in Italy, or in Poland, or in Hungary, or in Slovenia. It doesn't matter. When I speak to my friends, some say the same, but it's just worse, is what the media says. And each of them tells me that.
That's a good point, Thomas. The personal stories,
and they are all journalists, and they are saying. But I know from a few journalists in countries, they're getting at the moment they're being gagged.
Right.
They have to be careful what they report, because I don't want to mention the countries now. But speaking of a couple of friends of mine in journalism, they said they have to be careful what they say because they have prison sentences hanging over their head. So okay.
These are people in internal services, or are you talking about media people? Because maybe media people, right? Okay.
That's media. That's journalists from newspapers and television organizations, and it's really, especially Russia. I spoke with someone who probably the person I spoke to, but
okay, I don't.
It's I know you met her, but it's working for one of the bigger stations in Russia, and they censored. So censorship started 2 weeks ago. At least 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe you could argue that censorship started before then, actually, somewhere else a long way away in the East, way back in December, when a poor doctor, Dr. Lai, I think it was, lost his life through COVID-19, and he was seriously punished by Chinese authorities for letting the cat out of the bag early on in December.
Yes, but he was right to do so, because without his comment, we would be in a much worse state by now.
Absolutely.
And that's what I don't. Okay, yes, we have to restrict a little bit the media flow. We don't want to panic people. We don't want the people freak out and get really, really worried. I mean, if you're not worried by now, then I don't know, you should be, because the future gonna change, and we know that all. But you know what? Keeping it on a level like they do at the moment, it's I think they are too careful. We see the situation here in Greece now, and I feel with my Greek friends here, it really, really hurts me, and that's what I'm a little bit upset today too, because I spoke with a few there, and I can see really their livelihood is going down the drain. They see no comeback from that. That's now on a stage where they say, well, we don't know what to do, because there's just not enough concrete information given so people can make a sensible choice to carry on with their lives. This is all dragged out. Wait another 2 weeks. Wait another. This is this Afrio behavior. We cannot have that in a situation like that. I cannot say wait next week. Wait until next week. There's the point has to come where the government has to be straight and say, okay, what impact does it have now for real within our country, especially for tourism? You cannot stay these people on for any longer. They need to know. They have to respond, and that's exactly the point we're gonna end up. Is we getting our information again so late? They implement the steps again so late. That you can't respond, that you have no time to adapt. Or do I see that wrong? I mean, I think...
No, but I don't think there's anyone that can make the correct call at this moment about opening up for mass full-blown tourism. No one can make that call. It's not just a question of the country that receives the tourists. You've got to think of, as Thomas has said to you before, where the tourists are coming from. How can they get there? No one knows the answer to when normal flights are going to resume, and will they ever be normal again? There's some serious questioning about that. I think we can agree that after, whenever that is, of the coronavirus pandemic, things won't be the same, or they won't be like they were before it. I'm pretty sure it's going to have long-lasting, long-term ramifications that will affect the whole mass transit industry right across the globe, quite frankly. You said before we came on air, Thomas, a very interesting point about France. You gave some information about flights.
Flights, nothing. There's nothing going to happen until July, at least.
That's,
August.
They've come out and said that.
They came out and made the statement. So, it's a great statement. So, from France, don't expect anything. Italy, don't expect anything. Spain, don't expect anything. This is not going to happen this summer. All the other countries, but what paperwork do you need? The Greek government, for example, said now, okay, they have to have a test that they are free from COVID-19 when they want to travel. Yeah, how long does first you have to queue to get this test done? How long does it take until the test comes back? And then it's the time from when you have the test done until you travel. Yeah. And let me say that's another week.
Oh,
so what does the test bring me in the end? You know what I mean? Then I arrive on the airport, and within this week I could have contracted that virus. So
it's no one knows, and it's very hard to make the call. And as you noticed already, lockdown isn't suddenly ending; it's being a gradual, slow, unwinding process. Some of it's going to be trial and error. I read a report this morning that they're going to try small steps in many countries. While I think, to tell you, there is some little bit of good news. If you want to be beautiful today, Denmark's the place, because they're opening up beauty salons, hairdressers and tattoo parlors, as well as dentists and opticians, I do believe. School children are going to be let out to fresh air in Spain. Spain suffered absolutely terrible. I think it's had the highest fatalities after the United States. The one country that springs to mind, Thomas, is Vietnam. They've had about 268 reported cases, but 0 deaths. I'm a bit suspicious about that.
I'm suspicious of that too.
But the other reason why I'm mentioning Vietnam, and this has come from a Twitter follower who put this on Twitter the other day, he's making the point that Vietnam had the first case 8 days before the first case was announced in the United Kingdom.
Wow,
but unlike the United Kingdom, Vietnam got to grips with social exclusion and sanitization and all the rest of it. Unlike their neighbor Cambodia, where you may remember the president of Cambodia gleefully greeting the disembarking passengers off the cruise ship without a face mask, with no gloves, and shaking their hands, would you believe? I don't know what the figures in Cambodia are like.
I have no idea, but that's what it is. You know what? We cannot trust all the figures we see.
No.
It's bad enough the figures we have already. You know, it's 2.4 million, 990,000 or something. So it's nearly 2.5 million. Or is it over 2.5 already?
I think it was just
so high. Yeah.
And 170,000 plus deaths worldwide, as reported. But we know that that's a minimum figure. Definitely not taking into consideration care home workers, for instance, patients, I should say. Well, probably some of the workers as well. You know, they've had it rough. I think the care home staff have had it particularly rough because they've kind of been forgotten. We all thank the frontline medical staff in hospitals and accident emergencies across the world, but people in nursing homes, for instance, probably have got overlooked. Certainly the patients.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the people in the nursing homes, you know, detrimental for what we're doing now. They are really needed, but it's also all the delivery drivers. It's all you know, it's all the background staff now what get a little bit forgotten. They guys, it's all the bus drivers. I mean, I saw this report from the London bus driver where he's really concerned.
There's loads that have died, and they've had the Transport for London have just brought in a new system where you can only enter or leave a London bus through the middle doors. They protected their drivers through a perspex cage, I do believe. Or one story we brought a week ago, Thomas, we mentioned a baby, an 11-week-old baby in Leicester, United Kingdom, being born with it, and the mother, who was disconsolate, she didn't know how this could have happened. Well, the good news is the baby's made a full recovery, but they've also found out how this happened, and it's a tragedy, but it's just a wake-up call to everybody. The poor baby got infected by the father, who is one of these frontline key workers, delivery drivers. He tested positive for COVID-19 and accidentally, not unwittingly, passed it on to the baby. So it just shows you, however careful you can be, even in your home, you can't stop always this dreadful COVID-19 from permeating your immune system and dragging you down, as it were.
Definitely, no, you're totally right there. So, just back. Hello, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you have a comment, don't hesitate. Comment live now or send us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. But I would like to say, Tom Gittings, hello. Thank you for watching. Hello, everybody from sunny Bidford.
Bideford, yes.
Bideford.
I hope you're still drinking your mythos, Tom. You made us laugh when you told us about that. That's great. Bideford is a beautiful place there in North Devon, near Barnstable.
And Steve Stolzy McCabe is writing in. Hi, Steve. Thanks for watching. He said, how about this for a plausible theory? When this thing is over for everybody and the EU start to take charge again, no, how about wiping the slate clean from national debts in order to allow countries to build up again? This would help Greece immensely. Of course it would. That would be
what
a dream condition.
What a
man.
fantastic point. You're so right to raise that. And yes, let's not forget, this has happened. There is a precedent in the past. Many countries' debts, I'm not going into names, were written off after, for instance, the Second World War, but others were not. Greece particularly has suffered horrendously since the onslaught of the financial crisis, which very quickly became the Greek banking crisis. And now, just as they were green shoots were sprouting out of the Greek economy, suddenly COVID-19 comes and wipes everything out. But the Greeks are incredibly resilient, incredibly stoic. And as they have already risen from the ashes once, I'm absolutely 100% positive they will do so again. And hopefully we can help them, Thomas, here at StudioKerkyra, flying the flag for Greece.
I mean, we're gonna say how it is. We're not gonna hold back with our comments. We are
you probably know that already, ladies and
participating free speech is thing, but we are sensible of what we say and how we say it, because we don't want to panic anybody. We don't want to get people upset. But we say our opinion, and we give you the chance to tell us your opinion. That's what's all is about, because it's better out than in. That's what I say.
And I'm going to ram home the point one more time that we are a thoroughly independent media broadcasting company, live streaming a speciality, as you hopefully know by now. And we are also equally, not only are we just independent, but we are also totally non-affiliated. That's a really important point, because you may have heard in recent news there was a bit of a fury over the connection of COVID-19, and I've got to be very careful how I say my words here, and a new generation of mobile telephony. We cannot, by Ofcom, use the two words in the same sentence, and if we do, I'm going to get strung over the coals. But in not saying that, I'm going to say something else. There is absolutely no blinking evidence whatsoever linking this new generation of mobile telephony with COVID-19. And if you want to know how can I say that? Well, look at Iran. Are you seriously telling me that Iran, with all their sanctions and all their plight and hardships, have got the fastest and most extraordinary internet with the latest technology running? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No. And also, a case in point in the United Kingdom, you may have read recently that so many mobile masts were destroyed in fires and arson attacks. Most of those weren't even attached with this new level of mobile telephony. So there isn't. COVID-19 is a supercharged virus from the corona family, originating from SARS. Some professor called it SARS turbocharged. And actually the name COVID-19 is a shortened abbreviation. The full name, I can't remember it, but it starts with SARS. It definitely ends SARS. COVID-19, I think, is the full title. Something like that. It comes from SARS, but it's worse than SARS. It's not like normal flu. We're almost tired of saying this. It's nothing like flu. It's an incredibly virulent virus that for some reason eats up all your oxygen in your red blood cells, and the starving of oxygen within the body, hence the lungs and the need for ventilators. But it is the same reason why so many people's organs like liver and kidneys fail suffering from coronavirus, because the body is desperate to get oxygen. And on that point, Thomas, the other day I read with alarm that a lot of hospitals in the United Kingdom are experiencing for the first time ever a national shortage of oxygen, simply because they're having to get through so much oxygen on these intensive care units. They've never seen the like. So to all these people who don't believe COVID-19 exists, think it's some fantasy, corona pandemic's a fantasy, or a media conspiracy, or a government conspiracy, you are absolutely fundamentally wrong. And I am very happy to challenge you at any time. So please, if you disagree with me, pick up that phone, dial the Skype number for StudioKerkyra and talk to me live. Argue with me. I'm here to debate the validity of COVID-19. It's a dreadful, insidious disease that no one wants to catch. And here, ladies and gentlemen, get this as well. If you think, oh, I've survived COVID-19, I'm all right now. No, you're still susceptible down the line to get reinfected, which brings to question this whole thing about a vaccine. The other day, Thomas, we were reading about a different type of treatment that they're looking into, and that is retrieving the blood plasma from recovered patients of COVID-19
Of course, yeah.
and using this plasma in some sort of treatment. Oh, it was new to me.
No,
shows you how
this
far
is an
behind.
old technique. So they've done it with other viruses too. So there's nothing. This is more or less standard as what they're doing to take the plasma and to feed that, because COVID is attacking your red blood cells and starve the red blood cells of oxygen. That's what the COVID is doing. Through the plasma, they're hoping they can feed that. So to keep your red blood cells immune, or give them something to fight that. That's all it is on this. But this is what everybody is saying.
It's not a cure,
when you
but
look in,
it's
not a cure at all.
It was a treatment. It was there was a line of treatment they were going to apply for suffering victims.
Yes, exactly. When we spoke yesterday about it. Yeah,
it was.
I got more messages. Thanks, guys, for writing in. Lavinia were writing in with a quick story I'm reading out. Then Michael Dundee is writing in, and I got Steve McCabe again writing in. I read you that in a moment. But Michael Dundee is saying these lots of questions left unanswered.
Absolutely.
And that's spot on. That's
More
what I say. They have press conferences.
Yes,
I mean, Downing Street, every day they're doing that.
Yeah.
But you're not getting any new information. There's nothing new coming out. We know that all.
Yeah.
That's where the frustration sets in. Because when you get told the same again and again and again. No? But how we step forward, what we're doing post Corona. They're not even talking about it. There's nothing on the table. They got no packages. And if you're gonna ask them at the press conference now, okay, what is your plan for after the COVID? How are you gonna attack that? How is the country fixing the problem we have? Because we got people out of jobs, we got people into debts, we got people who lost their own businesses. You know, there's a lot happening. It's infecting it extremely, and how people have to live at the moment is another thing. You know, so you won't get anything from them. No. They again not ready with that. But hey, let me go over quickly. Let me read that over here from Melita. From Winnie quickly. My 14-month-old grandson Felix and waits by the front door, not understanding why he can't go out. He is abiding by the rules, so how extremely selfish of those morons who just do as they wish. And this is from Steve McCabe. He's saying, for the record, I should have been in Cassiope working as a DJ in Illusions Bar till the end of October. Right now, he should be here and doing that. I mean, that would be interesting. What do you think, Steve? Do you think you're gonna come this year as DJ to entertain here, or do you think that's it? Is the season over for you? I would love to know that from you. What do you personally? Is your season over, or do you still have hope to come to this beautiful island and work?
We hope so, and if you can't make it this year, please do come back again next year, Steve. It's a great island, Cassiope, great place. Well, you know that probably better than I do. Thomas, just going back to, you mentioned flights, and just to give the viewers some indication as to the massive, almost
Sarah Roseman said, well said, Adrian.
Well, thank you, Sarah Roseman. It's always great to hear from you, and David, you always give us a chuckle, so thank you for that. But I was just going to say about flights being grounded in the United Kingdom. Did you know that there were only 711 flights last week out of Heathrow, when normally there'd be 7,865? And only 711 last week out of Heathrow. Before, it was running on average 7,800. Of the 711 flights that went out last week, they're all cargo flights or repatriation flights. I do believe the UK government are still repatriating British citizens that have got stranded in Pakistan, actually, so they're coming back. But Heathrow was responsible for 464 of those flights, and flights out of Birmingham International are down to a staggering 90%. And as Thomas has alluded to before, France with those new conditions on air travel, and other countries as well, it really doesn't look as if many people are going to be going very far on international flights just anytime soon. Also, we must make you aware, lovely ladies and gentlemen, that there are certain airports around Europe where there are a large amount of planes that have been decommissioned temporarily. That's a big thing on an aircraft. They have to have their fluids drained and pipes and all sorts of things. And when they did start up again, whenever that is in the future, there's going to be some considerable time to get them back Bristol shape and all tickety-boo again.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be
go
an
overnight.
instant process. It can't possibly go
It's
overnight.
impossible to go overnight. I
Exactly.
mean, they have to prepare all the flights.
Totally.
I mean, the aeroplanes themselves. I heard information that they were wrapping planes up on certain airports. This means they're putting into storage for at least 6 months.
That's right, yes.
So, okay, they packaged it up. This cost a lot of money. I think each aeroplane cost around 80,000 euros just to pack them up. So, and to put them into storage. I can't see, as soon as they get unpacked, they need to be serviced. They need to be made ready for flight. That's not gonna happen overnight. So that's gonna take definitely a few things again. And I'm just getting more messages in. Thanks,
Great.
guys. I got over here. Sally Roberts is saying hello from West Cornwall.
Hello,
Thank you, Sally, for joining us. Sorry, guys. I try to get all the messages in if I can. So, and I got here. I'm gonna look here in a minute. Steve is answering my question about him coming as DJ. I'm doubtful personally. However, the managers of the bar are optimistic that there might be some trade in September and October, hopefully in order to make some money to get through the winter. See, that's the hopes now. That's why I say, and he was right. You know, where's the tourism coming from? Okay, we got the Greek side. Yeah?
Yes.
So when Greeks make holiday at home, that's gonna help. But they're not gonna replace the volume of tourists coming into the country.
No, that's
so this is impossible to do. There's more tourists hitting every year Greece than Greeks.
Yes, and Steve makes the same point that we've heard from others. September, October has been touted as a possible start-up date, but it's not going to be mass tourism, even if there was any tourism at all. But there may well be a trickle if this pandemic has quietened down by then, and as you keep hearing from scientists and medical professionals, they are continually warning about the prospect of a second or indeed third wave of infection.
They're talking about that already. I know, I saw that yesterday.
It's not over till the fat lady, bless her, apologies to the fat lady, sings. And I'm afraid she's not even on the podium yet.
It's not the thing. I mean, here I got... quickly, sorry man, I switched the camera over to you. Is Sally Roberts is saying worryingly... Yeah, I can see that here. Now, worryingly, they are talking about Cornwall to be first out of lockdown in the UK because we have the lowest coronavirus figures. I mean, how can you do that one?
What sort of logic states that then? Just because you've been lucky up to now? Oh, well, Cornwall doesn't matter. We'll just bung them all to Cornwall. That's not very nice, is it, Sally?
I mean, it's not. It's crazy. I mean, thank you, Steve McCabe, for answering that, man. I hope that you can come and work here, and then we can check that bar out. Of course, I'm all checking about bars out.
Why not? Delighted to check it out, yes. And enjoying you in your reverie whenever that comes. We can't wait. Obviously, we're always looking forward to that. Mind you, here's a thing that I ought to say, Thomas. Spare a thought for the horses. There was a case of a lady in Edinburgh who runs a riding school. She does 400 lessons a week. And, of course, she can't have anyone there to do the lessons because of social exclusion. And she's very worried about what she's going to do with her 39 horses, which reminds me, we have a viewer, Thomas. I don't wish to embarrass them, but we have a viewer here in United Kingdom who wrote into the programme a week ago. And I won't say his name, but I know that he's suffering because his wife's recovered from a very serious illness, and they are currently looking after 28 horses. This is other people's horses, and of course they can't rely on the help that they would normally get from the owners of these 28 horses, and they are in desperate stakes because he is so worried about his good lady wife being reinfected. So I feel really sorry for him. If he will allow me to mention his name, I will talk more about this on another day, but he is an avid viewer of the program, and I do feel sorry for him and the horses.
See, there's two things I want to say now, and go on to horses. I'll show you something in a minute because we need help here too regarding horses. I got something, but another one all out there now, guys. If there's any situation you're in, or you know somebody who is in a really bad situation here on the island or in the UK, use us, let us know so we can make a shout out. We can support that. So if there's anything you think, yes, we should let people know, please send us the details in, let us know, and we do our utmost best to help you, support you, to let as many people as possible know what you need. So don't keep it to yourself. There's always a way forward, no? Whereas an end, there's a beginning, and let's make there a beginning, and let's plug things what are important. So if there's anybody in need out there, please let us know. Don't be ashamed of it. It is a situation now. We shouldn't be ashamed of anything. Nobody could have planned for that. Nobody thought about that. Nobody, was prepared for what's happening now. But together we can do that. Together we can find a solution. Together we can work things out. So please don't be ashamed. Just ask for help, and we do our utmost to plug what you need. And if it's here on the island, maybe we can do more. But we got also contacts in the UK, and when we all go together, we can for sure make a difference. And that's
that key word again, collaboration. You knew I was going to say it, and that's exactly what we keep banging on about here. Lockdown SK is your digital platform. It's this fantastic exchange, two-way, all directions of ideas, experiences and questions, and hopefully the answers.
Yes.
So if you have loved ones and relatives here on this beautiful island of Corfu, please use us to pass those messages on. That's what we're here for. And vice versa. If you are lucky enough to be living on this beautiful island of Corfu, and you want to contact your loved ones around the globe, we are the people that can do that. So don't hold back. Let us know.
Involve us. Let's do this together.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Here I got now a first shout out, and a lot of people gonna know that. Guys out there, that's Silverland here on Corfu. That's with the horse riding. They're looking after horses, they're rescuing things. And here there is a shout out. We need your help. And let me look in here. You can read that, and here are the pictures quickly. Hello from Silverland. We hope you are all keeping safe during these rough times. All the animals here at Silverland are doing okay so far. But as we have been closed since the beginning of March without any income, it is becoming increasingly difficult to find money to pay for the feed and care of all the animals. So we are asking you for your help. If you can make any donations to help us to buy feed and hay, please get in contact with us through Facebook or by messaging. The mobile number is 6987 261 727. So I said this again, is 6987 261 727. Hopefully in the near future we will be able to open our doors and welcome you all back again. Kind regards, the Silverland team. And when you log on, let's go over here. This is their stable. See then?
Okay.
As the stable's over, and yeah, it's it's a fantastic area. Silverland, has entertained a lot of people, and that's
worrying to hear that their appeal, they need the food and hay for the horses. That's very worrying. I do hope they can get some positive response from this appeal. Do check out their website on Facebook.
Go on to Facebook and type in by the search bar Silverland, and you're gonna come up. It is at Silverland Corfu, and have a look, have a read, and if you're in a position to help the guys, please do so.
Yes, absolutely. And there is another wonderful institution of charity for animals on this island called the Corfu Donkey Sanctuary. Judy Quinn contacted the program a week ago. They do a fantastic job with all the donkeys of the island. There's some terrible sights I saw there. Beautiful place. When you can come back to this lovely island, do make an effort to go and see them. It's a beautiful location, and the donkeys are great, and the people who work there are fantastic. But Silverland, it seems, really needs our help right now, Thomas, doesn't it?
Definitely, and this looks like so. Guys, go onto the Facebook, put Silverland Corfu in there, and see maybe you can support them. If there's any other organization out there here in Corfu who needs help, who needs support, please let us know. As soon as the restrictions are a little bit easy, we're gonna go out with the cameras, we're gonna make a clip, and we're gonna push that. But at the moment, we can push this online. If you have a Facebook page, we're gonna show that, we're gonna talk that, and we're gonna make people aware of what you need. Yes, and here we go on. There's a lot of people writing in. Thanks, guys, for taking part. It's brilliant. David Roseman is commenting. However, regarding the easing of the lockdown, and he says, however gets relieved of lockdown, first will be the lab rats for the rest of the UK. So,
well, yes, that's an astute point, David. Yes, you're probably right there. Speaking of animals, here's a worrying thing that I read the other day, which I must bring to you. They're very worried about bees, would you believe? Bees are responsible for the pollination of most crops, and there's a terrible worry going out from the International Beekeepers Association. Round this time of year, many countries rely on importing, would you believe, queen bees. The exporters of queen bees are countries like Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, and Chile, would you believe. They go to places like the United States, Canada, and across Europe, including the United Kingdom. I think southern states also supply queen bees as well.
Yeah.
The Greek government have said that beekeepers in Greece are not allowed to go on any long journeys. And because of transport restrictions and travelling restrictions due to lockdown, it's not possible for these bees to go around pollinating. And that has a direct effect on the pollination of things like fruit, soft fruit, berries particularly, vegetables, but things that you might not necessarily think about, like mustard or nuts. So this is going to get right to a vegetarian or a vegan's diet, I should think. A third of all pollination on planet Earth is done by bees. That does beg the question, what happens to the other 2/3? But anyway, the fact that a third is by bees, and they're very worried that there's insufficient bee pollination going on at the moment because of lockdown restrictions, that is something for us to be slightly worried about.
Definitely. I mean, there's a few things we should be worried about at the moment. But
yes.
You know what? We know 21st century, we know we can prevail in that. And being in Greece, I think we picked the best country to be in, because the Greeks always prevailed. Doesn't matter how hard you hit them, they always bounced back. And that's, that's an example. Why they said the Greek government, really, they responded so quick. And it is excellent what they did. But the only worry is now that we're not getting self-confidence, overconfident.
Yes, complacency. With the whole thing. We do not want that.
No, definitely, because that can be why they're talking already about second wave, third wave, fourth wave. So, that's bad. It's but what the people need is now clarification. It has to come the time soon, where the governments have to sit down and really talk to their people and explain. So that's the situation. That's what's gonna happen. Here is a contingency plan we made, and that's what we gonna do.
Yeah.
So everybody knows where they stand, because now we are all in limbo land. We have no idea. We're only getting this bad news on a daily basis. All the time we're getting that. And of course, you know what Don Dodson were posting today. Is anybody else sometimes getting a little bit down? Of course, everybody. It's the thing again about mental health we were talking.
Yeah.
It becomes now again a big point of talking. And I think we should have the lockdown special running just on that one, because it's really, really important and close to my heart. And I know it's close to yours to talk about that, to make people realize, hey, we are all at home. We have time to listen. Yeah. Now on the lockdown, we got time to listen. The friends got time to listen. So if you're really feeling very, very low, just pick the phone up or message one of your friends and tell them straight, sorry, man, I'm not feeling well. I need to talk, please.
Yes, that's
all.
It is very important.
That's nothing bad for you.
No shame at all.
No shame at all. You're not losing your face, nothing. That's being human. And we talk, and if you just or other people, if you just lend your ear for a little bit to someone, even if you're not interested, it doesn't matter. It can help people just to let that out.
Totally.
And that's what we have to do all together. It's the only way.
That is one positive, unexpected and unintended consequence of this, as Thomas has just put his finger right on it. And that is mental health is being discussed more openly across the globe than it ever was before.
Yeah,
which
great.
is a really good thing.
Great.
And they also say that a lot of these overworked and fantastically brave first response healthcare workers on the front line fighting this disease, they are suffering from PTSD, and I think they will really need extra help when we've got past the worst of this pandemic. I mean, some of the stories I've read about the appalling shifts and the agonies that these nurses and doctors are going through every day in all these countries around the world just to fight this dreadful virus is simply nothing awe-inspiring.
Of course, and that's gonna stuck with you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
That's what we call experience.
Yeah.
And if it's a good or a bad one, it is with you. We just intend to get more grabbed from the bad experiences, the positive one, yes, you enjoy, you think of it, but it's the bad ones what haunt you.
Yes.
Yeah. And that we have to
maybe out of this, when we are through with this dreadful pandemic and we've moved on, maybe general populations will think differently about their frontline healthcare workers and all the medics that have risked their lives. And maybe not only is that reflected in increased wages and better working conditions, but maybe across society with more respect. I think we can all agree that anyone working in medical services and caring services really do deserve and warrant our respect. And you can pay your respects simply, okay, clapping on balconies is one thing, having a memorial service maybe, which is being talked about in the United Kingdom next week, for the fallen of the health angels. But maybe the best way you can show your respect is simply staying at home. Stay safe. Observe your country's lockdown rules. It is not a government diktat. It is not a media conspiracy. It is there designed to protect lives, not just your life, but the lives of others that you come into contact. In a casual way, you do not know what their immune system's like. Nope. You don't even know what your own immune system's like. Why take the chance?
Exactly, well said. And let me go over here now quickly. I got another message from Lavinia. She's saying regarding Silverland, and she's saying Sylvia from Silverland is an amazing lady who has spent every penny she has on breeding her little horses, saving them from extinction. Please help Silverland if you can. And that's great. Thank you, Lavinia.
Well done, Vinny, for saying that. That's absolutely great. And we'll certainly take this under our wing. We'll look into this and we'll get back to you. And hopefully this appeal might stir some coffers, rattle some coffers. Which, look, we get depressed. We talk about a lot of negative news, but I'm just going to remind you, I'm just going to say two names. Tom Moore. There's an inspiration. 19-year-old, 27 million and counting. What a man. And we can all take fantastic inspiration from him. 99 years old. Actually, he was guest of honour, via video link, of course, when they opened the Nightingale Hospital in Harrogate, Yorkshire, the Harrogate Convention Centre. Tom Moore himself, Captain Tom, as he's affectionately known, I do believe, was born in Keighley, which is West Yorkshire. He's now living in Bedford, or just outside of Bedford. Did you know, Thomas, useless piece of information, Bedford, the town of Bedford in the county of Bedfordshire in England, has got the enviable reputation of being the town in the United Kingdom that gives the most in charity. This first emerged in 2014, but now, thanks to the sterling efforts of the one and only Tom Moore, Bedford is up there in the top 10 cities, would you believe? It's only a town sort of thing. Lovely place, I'm sure it is, of giving. So isn't that marvellous, I think?
It's great, and I think, there you see, a community comes together and they lead by example. It's great. Here, one message in from Jackie Cherry, and she says, the Linear Cafe does a virtual coffee morning twice a week via Zoom. So that's
virtual coffee.
Virtual coffee
nice,
morning. Not bad. Come on,
don't tell me they're going to do virtual tea cakes, because that will be going. I can tell you that. You need when you think about tea cakes, you need something to bite.
So Harry is going to show you how he toasts it, and then he shows you how he eats it, and then you're happy.
As we've said before, Harry and George AV at the Linear Cafe, absolutely fantastic guys. You couldn't. Well, you could meet lots of the other ones, but they are so fantastic, of Greek character, wonderful sense of humour.
Definitely. But you know what, guys, thank you so much for taking part again. I got so many messages in. If I forgot one or two messages, I apologize. I'm gonna throw this in tomorrow's show, because we plan to come every day again. We just fixing around on the schedule a little bit, because we have to see what the weather does too. But we're gonna keep you up to date. If you want to talk about something what is close to your heart, don't hesitate. Write into us here through comment or an email to inbox@studiokerkyra.com. And if you want to talk with us live here about something, so we can really discuss that, you can call us via Skype. Somebody called me via Messenger, but I cannot take the Messenger into the system, so sorry about that. I'm gonna contact you right after the show, and we gonna chat together and set something up. So don't be afraid. We can talk about everything. We don't need to agree on everything. No. That's one important. We're not gonna be angry, because everybody is allowed his opinion, and we respect that. But for today, that's all we have time for today. So thank you so much for logging on. Thank you so much for commenting and taking part in our show and supporting us so fabulously. All of you out there, wherever you are, I hope you stay safe, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow again. But have a fantastic evening, and yes, tomorrow 6 p.m. But for now, thank you so much for watching.
Absolutely. And the last line I want to paraphrase what Tom Moore, Captain Tom, said: the sun will shine tomorrow. Hang on to that thought, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for sharing your time with us today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and a very good afternoon to you all, wherever you are.